So I'm at beautiful Ranikhet golf course, and apparently this golf course is the second highest in Asia. And this golf course is surrounded by a reserve forest, and I bought a small piece of land somewhere inside the reserve forest over there. There is a small village, and I bought a place there. And I'm constructing my house, which is hopefully going to be ready in the next 6 to 8 months. So this forest is full of pine and devdar trees, and because it's controlled by the army, there is no encroachment of land. So you have a pristine forest. And Ranikhet is also known for its leopards, and this forest is the natural habitat for the leopards. So this is where we are. This forest is also called Kalika forest. Okay, for kilometers and kilometers only reserve forest. The flora and fauna of this area is just amazing actually. The moment you come inside the forest, the smell of the air completely changes. So the good thing about this place that I bought, what I liked is, we are still very close to civilization. So we are 5 kilometers from the golf course, but in the middle of the forest and very, very, very peaceful here. Achha. So apparently this spot, my driver tells me, is where a lot of leopards are actually seen crossing the road. So they must be living here or something, because the villagers basically always point to this spot. And I think what they tell me is if you live here for a week, it's very difficult not to see a leopard actually. So this place is full of leopards. They say about 70 leopards live in these forests. I think this area is probably one of my favorite spots. You get a nice view of the mountains all around you. I like to come here in the night, around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the night, when obviously it's pitch dark. And I generally come to try my luck and see if I can spot a leopard. So I've been coming here for the last 3 or 4 months. I have never seen a leopard, but I did see a wild boar, porcupine, and some deers. So this village, Dalmoti, is a very small village. Probably has about 150, 200 people. Most of the people actually don't want to live here anymore because it's very difficult to find employment, and being 5 kilometers inside the jungle, they'll have to actually walk all the way to Ranikhet through this thick forest, which is about a 1.5 hour trek each way. So they live here, they trek 1.5 hours each way to find work, and generally they say life is quite tough, so nobody really wants to, the young kids don't want to stay in these villages, so many houses are empty, or their parents are actually living here but the kids are not. Just reaching Dalmoti. So on a clear day, somewhere over there you can see snow-cladded Himalayan mountains. So you can see a part of it. Ranikhet generally has a very good view of the Himalayan range, but from this village you can see a very small part of it. So coming to this village, you obviously had to trade something for something. So I traded the mountains for the jungle, but I still get a little bit of the mountain view as well. Look at the beautiful hills. Ranikhet overall is quite congested. So, it was difficult to find a place which is close to the heart of the city, but still very quiet and, aloof. And this was the only village I could actually find. So I'm pretty much 5 kilometers away from the golf course, but still not in the middle of the hustle bustle. So whenever I want to, just zone out, I can just come to this place. And if I'm getting very lonely and I'm getting bored, then the restaurants, the hotels, everything is just 5 kilometers away. Finally, we have reached. The pathway to my house is a little iffy right now, but I've been promised by the main guy in the panchayat, the pradhan, that this road is going to be constructed in the next 6 to 8 months, and that's pretty much when my house is going to get done. So I'm not complaining. And so finally we've arrived to the plot. Obviously it's a disaster zone right now because construction is going on. So I bought this land about 5 months back. It was an old Kumau house, a stone house. So we brought the whole thing down and we're constructing a new stone house. Okay, so all this stone was reclaimed from either the old house or from this land. So we are still in the early stages of construction. The house obviously has been brought down. Foundation work is going on, which should get completed in the next week or so. And once the foundation work gets done, then we're going to work on the stone walls. And let me show you the view from here. So we're pretty much at the top of the hill, okay? And down below you can see the Dalmoti village. Okay, so our house is pretty much this house is pretty much at the top of the hill. And there is not much civilization here, just a few scattered houses here and there. And as I was telling you, there we can see sometime in November, December, we can see a little bit of the Himalayan mountains. So this is the house that I'm making. It's a 3-bedroom house, and it's going to be a stone house. The exterior walls are going to be exposed stone. So the foundation work is almost getting done. Within the next 3 or 4 days, we should be pouring concrete, and the foundation work is going to be then complete. And after that, the stone work is going to start. Now, the stone work that we are going to do is, is a way that I saw online actually, and that technique they were using in Italy. So they were making a stone house in Italy. And generally, if you look at the way the villages actually do the stone houses, they do a 24-inch thick wall. So 2 feet thick wall they use. And they don't use cement. They basically use clay as a binder. But because in the hills, transportation of stone is actually a big problem. So, we have to do with whatever stone we have. And we actually have a lot of stone. But still, in order to save material, we basically are using that Italian technique where we're going to be using a 8-inch stone wall, and then behind the stone there is going to be a RCC wall. So reinforced concrete wall is going to support the stone wall. So when the construction of the wall starts, I'll show you what I mean. But preparation work for that is going on. And hopefully within a week we should be starting stonework. So now the stone wall that we're going to make, this is a sample of that stone wall. So obviously the stone walls can be made in a different way, but what I like is a random pattern. So different size stones are going to be randomly mixed, and the stone wall is going to be made. And we're going to have these grooves in between the stones. The grooves are going to be almost, let's say, half an inch. And once the stone wall is complete, we'll fill these holes with a grout. So the grout color is going to be decided later, but that's how we're planning to make the stone wall. Is going to be a random stone pattern. And all the stone was obtained, as I said, from the previous house and from this particular land. So all the stone basically is a local stone. So today is a very important day. We're going to be laying this first stone of the house. So that we're going to do in the afternoon. But right now we have to go to a very interesting place. It's about, less than half a kilometer from here. In the middle of the jungle, they have a forest guest house. That guest house, the caretaker of the guest house is somebody who's my neighbor, and he's preparing a nice lunch for me. So we'll go and have lunch, and I'll show you the place. So we've reached the forest guest house. They call it the Himalayan Medicinal Garden, but it's actually a forest ranger's guest house. Deep in the forest, and it's about 300-400 meters from the house. So when I first came to Ranikhet, I ended up losing my way, and I came to this place. And the caretaker of this place is the brother of the person that I bought the place from. So when I lost my way, I came and I met him, and I told him that I'm looking for a land. And then he took me to Dalmoti village, and I ended up finally buying his brother's place. So today he's made some nice lunch. I think rajma and gobi, and there is this local roti called madwe ki roti. So we've come to enjoy lunch in this beautiful forest guest house. That's the caretaker's house. And everywhere around this place you see devdar and pine trees. The forest people definitely know where to make the guest house. It's beautiful actually, and there is nothing around except this guest house. Namaste, Lakshman Singh. So he's the caretaker of this guest house, and he's my neighbor in Dalmoti now. क्या हाल है लक्ष्मण सिंह? So this is the main building of the guest house. So sometimes when I come to Ranikhet, we come here in the night and do a bonfire and get some beer. And this guy cooks well, but otherwise we get food from outside, have a party here. And when the house is finally made, I can see this is going to be my go-to place to bring people whenever they come for a visit. We have to come here in the night and have a bonfire and just enjoy the place. See, absolutely nothing, a pin drop silence. The only thing you can hear is the sound of the forest and of the birds, and nothing else. So pretty. And we are deep inside the jungle. Today we're gonna have lunch here. The table is being set outdoors. Beautiful. So obviously the forest is full of birds and animals, and they do a lot of these medicinal plants here. Yeah, and in this particular guest house, they plant many medicinal plants. So once I make the house, I'm definitely planning to take some of these medicinal plants to my place. And they have a small nursery here where they keep all these medicinal plants. I don't know what the uses are, but these guys are pretty well versed. So all these are supposed to be medicinal. That's the thing about this forest, such an amazing place. I mean, when I came here for the first time, I was so amazed. And still, whenever I come here, I find the place extremely soothing. Yeah, I think it's a good choice not to buy land in crowded areas. You definitely had the view of the Himalayas, but this is much better, because you come to the hills for peace of mind and being in nature, and I think you cannot find a better place than this if you're looking for nature. All right, so I think everything is set. Oh, look at this. Corona. Now we're gonna enjoy some nice lunch with a nice beer in this beautiful setting. And the beer is actually chilled. So this place has a refrigerator, and this guy was kind enough to keep the beer in the night in the fridge so that I can enjoy this with my lunch. Can't think of a more perfect place for lunch. Deep in the forest, in the absolute peaceful surroundings. So this is what we have for salad. We have some cucumber, we have some beet, gobi, rajma, and this is that madwa ki roti. It's very earthy and extremely delicious. And the caretaker tells me that this is some pahadi namak. I've never really tried pahadi namak, so maybe I'm going to try it today. But that's for lunch. Looks yummy. So finished a yummy meal. So that's the thing about these pahadi guys. They really know how to cook. So I've been coming to Ranikhet for almost a year now, and I haven't had a single bad meal. You know, they have their way with food. Excellent. I was also wondering, I mean, you know, we try to run away from Delhi to escape the pollution, the air pollution. Ranikhet itself, the city, must be 1/10 the pollution level of what Delhi is. But now if you look at this particular jungle area, Dal Moti, where the house is, here the AQI, I refuse to believe, somebody told me that the AQI here is more than 10. And that is probably on the worst day. So imagine, you know, coming from Delhi to a place which is absolutely pollution free. No noise pollution. We are in the middle of the forest. No air pollution. There is no civilization nearby to cause any kind of pollution. There are hardly any cars. All the villages, I have seen maybe 2 or 3 cars. That's pretty much it. A few people have bikes, but the amount of greenery that we have around, I don't think the AQI ever goes above 10. And you know, there is noise pollution, so there's absolutely nothing. It's just, you know, sounds of nature and nothing else around you. See, some of my material is getting transported by these horses. So as I was saying, you know, because we are in the jungle and we don't have proper road at the moment, so transportation cost is quite high. छोड़ दो। हाँ जी, फोड़ दीजिए। इसी में डाल देना। So today we finally started the stone work. This cement, the concrete casting will happen in a week's time, but we've already started the stone work. Now the central tower here is about 22 feet high. So the entire central tower is going to be done in stone. Stone is about 8 inches deep, and it's going to be supported by this RCC wall, and RCC wall is going to be about 4 inches. So the total thickness of the wall is going to be about 12 inches, about a feet. So if you want to own a place in the hills, obviously the first decision is if you want to buy or you want to build. With the rates that are going on these days, unless and until you have a very hefty budget, buying an independent house in the hills is a very expensive proposition. So, for example, in Kasoli, these days independent houses are going for more than 5 crores. So anywhere from 5 to 15 crores is the budget that's required to buy a house in Kasoli. And Nainital and all these places are also quite expensive. So, that's one of the reasons why I selected Ranikhet, because Ranikhet is not as touristy as many of these other places, and you can still buy land reasonably cheap. And I decided to do the construction myself, even though I don't have any background in construction. This is the first project that I'm going to be doing. But that's, in my opinion, that's the fun of it. You learn new things and you do new things, and you get new experiences. So I bought a place about 5 months back, as I said, and I'm building a house here. And what I've done is I've also not taken any contractor. I have a local guy who's helping me out, but he's doing, all the material is mine. He's providing me labor and he's overseeing the project. I have also sent a guy from Delhi to take care of buying material and stuff, but he's also not a civil guy. So you generally need a guy that you can send to whatever your location is, who's gonna take care of buying material and stuff in case you're basically building it yourself. If you give it directly to a contractor, then contractor also has to make money. So, and in my experience, they actually end up charging you a pretty hefty markup. So depends on your personal preference. I mean, if money is no object, then obviously you buy a ready place for yourself. But if you wanna build a quality thing on a budget, then building it yourself is the only way to go. And obviously, you need to have the time commitment also. So I generally come to my project once every month, or once every 40 days. Whenever there is some critical work going on, I may come a little sooner, but once a month is probably the average that I have to come, and whenever I come, I spend about 2-3 days here. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'll show you some other pitfalls that I've faced. Because I'm building my own house, I have to transport all the material to the site, and depending on where your location is, the cost of hauling material to that location is actually a pretty big factor that you should consider if you're building your own house. So I'll explain all these things, all my experiences as we go along in this blog, and hopefully it's going to help you in building your own place in the hills. So we are finally going to Ranikhet club. So I bought my place about 4 months back, and that time I had applied for the club membership as a resident, and resident fees is pretty cheap actually. It's only 50,000. It's always a good idea, in my opinion, to take the club memberships of these small places. After 7 o'clock, there's not much to do in Ranikhet once it gets dark. So, if you have a club membership, it always works in your favor. They have a nice, they have a tennis court, they have a bar. It's an old club controlled by the Cant. So let's see if, my membership is getting through or not. They also have some rooms that they give out for rent. So if you have any guests, if they want to go and stay there, they can. So let's check it out. So we have reached, this is the Ranikhet club. I'll show you around. Pretty old building. Says members only, but I think they do allow non-members to come in, but they just have to pay a higher price. Very old British time building actually. These are various affiliations, so if you are members to Ranikhet Club, you can use the Boathouse Club in Nainital as well. Just a place for people to hang out. This is the bar. Nothing much, but you know, after 7 p.m. if you're getting bored, then I think a good place to come and hang out. That's the tennis court. And these are some of the guest rooms, so you can rent them actually. Let's see how these guys play. Not a problem. I definitely can play a little better. So again, when you are in Ranikhet, after it gets dark, there's not much to do. So more activities you can arrange for yourself, better it is. And I think Ranikhet Club is definitely one thing to be added to your itinerary. Hello everybody. So I'm at Punjab Timber in Haldwani, and I need some wood for the project, for door frames, doors, everything else. So the only way to buy wood in the hills is you have to buy government certified wood. So you just cannot buy from any dealer, because you know they might be not logging the trees legally. So you need to only buy it from the forest department. And so I've come to this particular trader, and I'm buying cedar wood or devdar. So on that table is all the wood that I'm buying. Now, a good thing about any wood that you're buying from the government, it'll be numbered and you will get a proper bill and proper documentation for the wood. So you know that the tree has been logged properly, okay, and legally. Generally what happens is during storm and all that, many of these trees fall, and the forest department then auction these trees away, and that's the only legal way to buy wood. So anytime you're building a house, if somebody is trying to give you wood just like that, without a number, without documentation, then you are pretty sure that it's illegally logged and you should not be buying the wood. Guys, I'm at the stockyard. All this is cedar wood, and if you're buying you know, authorized wood, then all of these pieces are going to have a serial number. Okay, serial number is basically given by the government, the forest department, and this guarantees that this wood is a legal wood. It's not coming from illegal sources. And the cedar smell, oh man, this is so sweet, it almost smells like sandalwood. So I'm buying this wood for my door frames, everything inside the house is going to be all cedar. And it's an expensive wood, but I think worthwhile the investment because it doesn't rot, it doesn't catch termite easily, and they say it keeps snakes away. So we'll see about that, but great wood, and you should only buy from legal channels.